Hello everybody, and welcome to a tutorial. And in this tutorial, we are going to be covering the extreme basics of Minecraft for anyone who has just absolutely just started Minecraft. So I'm only going to be going on the PlayStation controller, not the Xbox. They're practically the same though, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, maybe it does a little bit, but I don't think it does. But the cursor, the joysticks that you have on your controller, you're going to want to use those. The one on the left is the one that makes it so you can go up, down, right, and left, so you can move your character. And then the one on the right is the one so you can move your head so you can see what you're looking at. And it moves in all directions, and you can move it at different angles, so you can just control your thing. It doesn't come naturally, it's usually just muscle memory. So you can control it to look where you want to look, and it becomes better over time. So usually when you first start out, you might be going in like straight lines without like curving or anything, and then like turning like that. Usually you don't want to apply that much force. It's just a thing, you just want to get good with the movement. And then we have triangle, which you can see down in the bottom left and right. It shows us different things. They're just different controls that you can do at the time. It'll show you ones if you're depending on what you're looking at. So if you're looking at a block, if you hold R2 you can mine. Mine has changed because my R2 doesn't work, so I use the bottom arrow. And when you mine, you can pick up things that you mine. Sometimes it won't drop them if you need a specific item to mine them, so don't be worried if it doesn't drop anything. Your L2 is going to be place or interact. You can use it to interact on things such as crafting tables, which you get from breaking trees and then making them. I will show you how to make them in just a little bit. Right now we're going to be focusing on the mining and placing. So when you mine, you get more and more blocks, which you can use to build shelters. And it also indents things because you're taking blocks out of the ground or wherever you're just taking blocks. So it does matter, and things don't really grow back unless you place them. So just remember that, because sometimes your whole island can get dirty by where you place blocks and where you break them, and then it doesn't look very good if you're living there. And so L2 is place, so it'll just cover back up anything that you broke, or it will just put it back where it is. Or you can start building like your house out of whatever you broke, and that's about what L2 does. It also is interact, but we'll get into that. And then we have crafting and inventories. This is the first thing that you're going to want to do once you get wood. So the other controls that we have is the jump button, which is X, and it will make it so you can go over hurdles like one block without like not being able to go up. You can just do that. And then when you first start off, you're probably going to want to look for a tree. If you can't find a tree, you might want to just start a new world, because that is not a good world. There's usually trees around. If you spawn on an island, that kind of sucks. So it's bad if you spawn in a desert sometimes. You can run in a certain direction, you might find a tree. It's like if you spawn in the desert, it's kind of oof for that world, but it's fine. So when you get this oak log from the tree, you're going to want to either hit triangle or square. It doesn't really matter, they're exactly the same. They just take you both to the same thing. And then you can... The triangle and square only change when they're in the inventory, because they can take half, or they can quick move, which will move it to your hotbar, or it will move it to an available space inside of your inventory if you're quick moving from a chest, or an available space inside of a chest or item storage, so like that. And Then we have take, which you can use to move around items. So if you have a full inventory and you need to get to your items that you need in your hotbar so that you can use them, you're going to want to do that, and you can swap them out and then use them to just bite things. And then we got the take also has the, oh, you can also quick move things out of your hotbar like that, so something you can also do. But take also has another feature where if you pick something up, you can bring it out here and drop it, so you can drop it for other players, or if you just don't want it in your inventory. And then we also have the circle, which is exit. It's also the drop function, so you can drop things for people, and it only works if it's in your hotbar, so that's what you want to do, the take, and then do this. It's also better than the drop function is usually better than the take function if you have a function inside the inventory. Is usually better if you have a lot of things, because see, you can drop that way faster than you can drop it like this. And then you got the inventory and the book. So with the log you had just gotten, you can either put it in here or use your craftables. You don't have to really worry about this if you're a beginner. This is just, it's item assortment, so it's like a filter. So if you want nature craftables or that, or bedding and home and all that, usually you just want to go to the thing that says craftable, because it just allows you to have it whatever you're able to craft, and that makes it so it's everything, so you have to scroll through everything. So if you have that on, you're probably gonna want that off, because it's not very practical when you're trying to craft things. Usually you want your craft things up here so you can actually see them without having to scroll down everywhere. And then we have L3. When you're inside the inventory, will take you to the inventory or the recipe book if you want to get there fast. We also have this little extra slot right here. It's just for carrying arrows that you have, and that's about it. There's also a shield that you can get, and you can use that to block enemies from hitting you. And so the way that you use this craftable function is you go over to the item you want that you have the ability to craft, and then you wouldn't have any of this, so you would just have this oak log, and you would only be able to craft this. And then once you get that, you would probably most likely craft a crafting table, because that would be the only thing you can craft. And then you would put down this crafting table with the place that you just learned from me, and then you would want to use the L2 to use the, or interact with the table, so you can craft more advanced items. As you can see, I have way more options, because inside the inventory you only have a 2x2 to craft things, and then inside of this you have a 3x3, so you can craft more advanced things such as bookshelves, cauldrons, chests, bowls, because that's a 3x2, so it's more than a 2x2. You can craft shields, armor, leather armor, slime blocks, anything that's inside the game you can craft if you have the items for. And then you can craft different types of blocks, like this. Let's see, which one is there anything? I guess I only have the smithing table. You can craft other interactable blocks for this with the advanced crafting, so you can get more advanced stuff, because that's a 2x3, so you wouldn't be able to craft it inside of your regular crafting. And you can place it down and then use it as, like, this is for upgrading your gear into netherite, so if you have diamond you can upgrade into that, so you would just interact and then upgrade it into that just for when you need it. So you can use this to craft different more advanced things like this, which can make and craft more advanced things special to its type, if you get what I'm getting at. As I said, X is jump, squares drop, triangle and square are getting into the crafting. Just make sure you remember that, because those are the bare necessities to being able to play. You also want to know how to break, which I told you is holding down R2, and then placing is the L2. and you interact by going to an interactable item and using it with L2. Okay, and what else is there? Oh yeah, there's also crouching, which can help when you're building, because you can crouch and you won't fall off. It'll just keep you on that block without you falling down. It's just a slower way to walk. It's not very good at sneaking, like it doesn't help against enemies. They can still see you pretty well, so it doesn't really matter against enemies, but it's just good for building and staying on stuff if you're like inside of a mine and there's a void beneath you and you're gonna die. And then what else is there? Let me think. So then there's the different perspectives. Oh, that's not what I want to do. Different perspectives, so you can hit the left trigger stick or joystick, and you can switch your perspective like that. I don't think I told you for crouch it's the right joystick. I probably should have told you that instead of just telling you what it was. The right joystick, if you click it down, is the crouch maneuver that you have. And then, is there anything else? And if you're ever having troubles just knowing what to like do to interact with things, it usually tells you what you can do to interact with things in the right corner and the left corner. The left corner just tells you how to craft in your inventory, but oh yeah, there's also this, so if you get stuck right here, that's what crafting, I don't know, if you get stuck right here, yeah, you can hit the left joystick down and it will fix it for you. But if you get stuck like this is more like a, I guess more of a advance, because you have to remember the crafting recipes for the things. Oh, I just got a carrot. And you also want to watch out for monsters, because they will kill you and you don't want to die. And in the next tutorial we'll be going on that. I just want to make sure I have everything down. You can also, if I didn't make everything clear, you can hit settings, which is the one options button, and then you go to the settings and it'll bring you up to this. And if you go to wireless controller, it shows you all of your layout is what I mean here. If it would load, I don't know what that was, it froze there for a second. It just shows you your layout, so if you don't know any of your controls that I just described to you, you just look at this and it should tell you all of them. You can also change them if you want them to be custom, so if you want them to be to you, like I had to change my mine to the down arrow so that I could actually mine without my R2 because it didn't work. And that's about it. Hopefully you learned at least something from this. If you already knew all this, then you probably shouldn't have came to the thing that's called the #1 tutorial for Minecraft. Well, not #1, but like the first tutorial that I'm making, because it's gonna be about the bare necessities, you know? The bare necessities? The song, you know? Amazing song. It's great. See you guys in the next video.